Well, hello everyone at Life Christian Academy. My name is Aaron Gentile and I'm the elementary principal and director of spiritual life. Having been at Life Christian Academy for 15 years, returning to the role of director of spiritual life this year brings great excitement to me. I've served as a Bible teacher and assistant principal to the high school. I've been on the spiritual life committee of the upper school for many, many years prior to becoming the elementary principal. So jumping back into this role this year is absolutely thrilling. Let me tell you a little bit about the journey that I've gone through this summer to try and unveil and discover the school theme, the spiritual theme for the 2020-2021 school year. I've spent quite a bit of time in the Word and in prayer, just asking the Lord, where do you want LCA to stand out? How do you want us to distinguish ourselves in this community? And you would agree, I hope you would agree with this, that as we look at the world today, we've seen so much division, so many arguments over different opinions and ideas and thoughts. The word that kept coming to me was this idea of unity, that as a school and as a school family, we should stand united under the banner of Jesus's love. As I read through the scriptures this summer, I spent quite a bit of time thinking about what happens when you're in the Lord's presence. In the Lord's presence, we know that the mountains melt like wax. In the Lord's presence, we know He works all things together for the good of those who love Him and are called according to His purposes. In the Lord's presence, we know miracles happen. In the Lord's presence, we know there's forgiveness, there's mercy, there's grace, there's compassion. And so I've been thinking and praying a lot about what it means to be in the Lord's presence. And that takes us to a scripture that really is at the center, right keyed in at the center of our theme for this school year. It's Psalm 133, verse 1. It reads, "How good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity." So our theme for the school year is going to be unity, and it has three ideas that go along with it. The first is God with me. And when I find myself in the Lord's presence, I am experiencing something that is transformational. I see the world differently. I see people differently. I see friends differently. It is a unique experience. I see people who I might consider an enemy. I see them differently because the Lord does a work in my heart. So unity starts with the idea of God with me personally. The next is God with you. And here's where it gets real, people. Once He transforms our heart, He gives us a new lens to see the world. He gives us a new lens to see others. So instead of seeing others as an enemy or somebody that we're disagreeing with all the time, He gives us the ability to see them as someone who is created in their image. And when we see people, everyone on this planet, created in the image of God, it changes the way we treat them, the way we think about them. It changes our biases toward them, and we see that they were created in love and to be loved by God and by us, therefore, as well. So God with me, God with you, and that takes us to our final point about unity. It's God with us. Once we have healing for ourselves, we can extend healing towards others. God with me, God with you, and then it brings together a community that can live together under one fantastic banner of God's love as we live together in unity. And trust me, LCA, it's going to be a fight to get there. We have to put aside our emotions at times and trust in the faithfulness and goodness of God. So it won't always be easy, but would you journey with me as a school that desires to live together in unity? Thank you so much. Make it a great day, and God bless.
For 47 years, Life Christian Academy has been faithfully serving the Tacoma and Pierce County community, and we've been doing that knowing and loving and caring for children. And that's our commitment into the future, and especially through this season. The fight that we've had as a school has been substantial to make sure that we can have students live, in person, and here on campus. And we've done that for the very intentional purpose of giving families choice. We believe that you as parents should have choice to be able to send your children to school or to have your children not to come to school. And we have you covered regardless of your circumstances. You'll notice that our spiritual theme is unity, and earlier I published a document called our reunion plan, and that was really something. It's just an amazing coincidence there, and God works in mysterious ways. But we value the importance of getting everyone back together and really working as a unified campus, and that's one of the things that you'll notice through some of the changes that have occurred and some of our developments over this year. We know the value of face-to-face learning, and as a school we're committed to having that, and that's the preferred method for delivering our world-class education. Back in the spring, in March, when COVID-19 hit, we established 4 board task forces. One that dealt with safety, one that supported finances and how we could support families. One looked at education and how we would navigate the challenges of this season for both in person and at home. And then also how will we manage communication and advancement. So each of those task forces consisted of staff members, executive board members, and various community representatives. And there are around about 10 people on those, and they've met each week until this last few weeks. Bearing in mind it's 27 weeks now since school recessed on the 17th of March, and we know how important it is to get everybody back in place. But I want to assure you that we've worked tirelessly to cover all of our bases and have been meticulous in our preparations to get everybody ready and back to school. Back on the first day of the school year, when I had the opportunity to speak with the faculty, I spoke to them about some of our goals for this year, and one of the ones that I shared with them was the importance for in every lesson we want students to understand something new, not to know something new, and really that was very intentional, to understand rather than to know, and to take the focus away from content, from memory, and from really looking at things that are simply Googleable. Really, our focus here is to have students dialogue, communicate, and to have great debate and rhetoric, because the kids need to understand not only about the concepts, but how they relate to other concepts, and that's about diving deeper and having higher order thinking, and that's something that will set our students apart in the future. So what you're going to see is a lot more about less, and so we'll be focusing on taking a deeper dive into our learning, and that's really one of the points that distinguishes a quality school. Another focus that you're going to see is catering for the social and emotional well-being of our students, and we understand how important it is to have our students in front of us, but also for them to be able to dialogue and spend time with each other and to learn those social skills that are only developed through practice and actually having times in conversation with each other. You're going to hear more about some of our e-learning options, but really in line with our choice and focus on choice, we're trying to give flexibility for families. So in our e-learning models, if families are not comfortable sending their children to school full time, they can send their children to school 4 days a week, 3 days a week, 2 days a week, 1 day a week, or just no days a week. And also to have flexibility to toggle between being in school and out of school, and that will certainly help us to be flexible in pivoting should we need to, should there be an outbreak of COVID-19 in our school community. Another thing you might be able to notice on our website is the launch of our hybrid campus. Now, this has been a project which has been 2 years in the making, where we're trying to offer this greater level of flexibility and greater level of choice for our students. And this means that students can actually be able to go away on family vacations, can be involved in other time-consuming activities that may be a clash with the normal school day, but the flexibility of this program actually allows those students to flex and do that content at a different time to when it's normally scheduled. So for instance, a student could have some extracurricular band or athletics or something in the morning and miss first period and be actually doing that class at a different time to the other students, but using our learning management system to facilitate that. And another great initiative is our Flying Start program. Now, this is a competitor to Running Start, and really has come about because of our desire to have students involved in a Christian education and be involved in our school community and meet the developmental requirements of students. So we've got some great opportunities where students don't have to do an all-in dive like they would with the traditional Running Start program, but we're able to be more flexible and have students do one 1 or 2 or 3 or so classes, and to actually cater for students doing up to an AA level in their time here at the school. We're also very mindful that the middle schoolers and the lower high school students are the first generation of students that as children were babysat by iPhones, and that developmental delay that has taken place because of that lack of social emotional content is something that can be repaired, but can only be repaired through practice and regular contact and intentional development of those social skills. So we're really focused on getting kids back into the campus. We've worked incredibly hard to be able to have them come in campus, taking care of all of the safety requirements that we've got. But bear in mind, because of community transmission, we can't guarantee an absolutely COVID-free community, but we're doing everything that we can, and should we have an outbreak, we've got a really comprehensive plan in place that was developed by those task forces. This year you're going to hear a focus on technology, on STEM, and we've got our STEM program launched as an accredited STEM program with a new head of science coming in to work on building that program. That was scheduled to be launched in March, but COVID came and we had to delay the launch of that. So you're going to hear more about that, but also Mrs. Rogers has a role in student mentorship and the development of faith of students. So that's going to be another intentional program, and you'll see us working through the Character Strong initiative, where we're really intentionally mentoring and developing and supporting the children. So thanks very much for coming along, and for those who are at home, it's great for you to hear this message, and we look forward to seeing everyone's smiling faces back on campus as soon as possible. So thank you very much.
Hey, greetings. I'm John Kellett. I'm the high school principal here at Life Christian Academy and the athletic director for kindergarten through 12th grade. Safety and security is the most important thing to us. You can't have education or a great school culture without safety and security, and even over the years, I've always been concerned about safety and security first. With COVID, we have some new protocols that I just want to make sure you're aware of. First of all, we're going to have a daily health screening. In the health screening, this will be a requirement where we will take the temperature of every person entering the building and ask some questions about whether or not they have symptoms related to the possibility of having COVID. So far, this process has gone really smooth with our elementary school, and I believe it'll go really smooth with our 7th and 8th graders next Tuesday, September 8th, as well as Wednesday, September 9th for our high school students. As far as drop-off and pickup, our drop-off and pickup will be the same as it's always been. So if you're a parent who is dropping off a student, just come around the sidewalk over here on the east side of the center parking lot and drop your student off. Masks are required. I'm not wearing one right now because I'm speaking to you, and obviously I'm socially distanced from you. But masks are required in the building at all times. One thing we do have, though, is we do have a possibility of a waiver. So if there's some medical reason, or maybe there's some anxiety, or some other reason that you believe that your son or daughter should not wear a mask, and we can go ahead and waive that. They will receive a bracelet, which can be worn in the shower. It's waterproof. If it wears out, we can always issue another one. That way, if their mask is off in the building, an adult will see that, or even another student will see that and realize that they have a waiver and don't need to wear the mask. Traveling through the hallways of our school, it's almost like being on a road. We're going to require that you stay on the right-hand side of the hallway as you travel. Our stairwells are one way only. On the far ends of each wing, the west wing over here by Franklin Park, and then the east wing that's over here more on the elementary side of the campus, the far end of the hallways, those are down stairwells only. The center stairwells on the ends of the wings near the gymnasium or core activity, those are up stairwells. So students, after a few days, you'll learn kind of the routine of when you need to go up, when you need to go down, what floor to get off on, whether it be the first floor going down or the second floor going part way up, or the third floor. Most of the classes for our middle school and high school are on the third floor on the east wing and the third floor on the west wing. We're going to really emphasize the importance of keeping a distance of 6 feet or more. I know this is really difficult and something we're going to have to work together to learn and practice. We are not going to be assigning lockers at the start of the school year. Therefore, passing time, people can stay socially distanced and just make their way through the hallway, and it should go just fine. We'll be out there. We'll be reminding people to maybe make sure that their masks are covering their nose and their mouths, that they stay socially distanced, and that they keep moving. So passing time will not be a situation where kids will go to lockers and group up as a group. As far as our lunch process, to start the school year, our middle school in their third period class, they will remain in their third period class during the normal lunch period. If they've ordered a lunch, which they do on a daily basis through first period, right at the end of third period, they'll be allowed to go down to the cafeteria or commons, pick up their lunch, and then return to class. This is how we're going to start. We'll see how it goes. We'll do the same thing for the high school students, except that their period will be fourth period. So at the end of fourth period, if they've ordered a lunch through our lunch program, they'll be allowed by the teacher to go down to the lunchroom, down to the commons, pick up their lunch, and then bring it back. Before and after school procedures, we will have people available to do the health screening as early as 7:30, but not before. We would ask that parents, to the extent possible, maybe drop their high school and their middle school students off, maybe around 8 o'clock would be the best. If you have to drop your students off early, as early as 7:30, that would be fine. We would have them social distance in the commons and just sit quietly, visit, socially distanced, and or study and get ready to go out into the hallways. If you have a special circumstance about maybe parents working and having to maybe even drop off earlier, please call your principal and we'll see if we can possibly work something out. For middle school students, they must be off campus by 3:15 unless they're under the direct supervision of a teacher, coach, or principal. Otherwise, they have to either be off campus or go to after-school care, which is in the lower gym. High school students do not have after-school care available to them, so they'll need to be off campus by 3:15 unless they're supervised by a teacher, coach, or another adult in the building. If you have a special circumstance, once again as a family, where that might create a hardship for your high school student to be off campus by 3:15, please give me a call so that we can talk about that and see if we might be able to make some other type of arrangement. As far as athletics, this year our athletics are being divided into 4 seasons instead of 3. We actually will not start interscholastic competition until after the new year. We will, however, play every one of the sports that we offered in a shortened season. In the fall, we are going to allow practices from September 28th through November 30th, a span of about 8 weeks, where our high school coaches will be able to work with their athletes on drills, conditioning, their strategies for play, so on and so forth. If a student is a multiple sport athlete, we'll definitely work with the coaches to be sure that that student can experience practices in all the sports that they intend to play. Finally, you need to have an immunization to be in school. The state has been a little bit forgiving on that in the past and giving people a little bit of time and not really putting their foot down. We always try to, within the first couple of weeks, make sure everybody's immunizations are up to date. This year, the state has been very strong in letting us know if your immunizations are not up to date, you cannot be in school. You won't be suspended, you just won't be able to attend until your immunizations are up to date. So if you get a call sometime next week or the week that we start school from the nurse saying that your immunizations aren't up to date, by all means get them up to date as soon as you can, please. Finally, we have set aside textbooks and learning materials from the classes for those students that are doing e-learning only. In other words, their entire schedule will be off campus in e-learning. We've made those materials available during our orientation, but if you weren't able to get there, we will have those materials available for you in the office for pickup. Simply call the office, call Mrs. Francis in the secondary office and just let them know that you need to get your materials and you can set a time to come pick those up. If you are a hybrid learner, meaning that sometimes you're on campus and sometimes you're not, you will get your textbooks and other materials on the days that you are on campus. And then the last but not least, we do have a high school dress code that we are going to follow. We went through a transition year last year, but now our dress code is set, and we're going to follow that dress code. Please check out the dress code in the student handbook on our school website. If you have any questions about that, let me know. We're really looking forward to a great school year. I wish you well if you're an e-learner only. I hope to see you on a Zoom at some point, and I would love to see you on campus once the COVID is passed and we have a vaccine. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Hello, my name is Holly Warmbier. I am the new middle school principal and oversee online learning. The first thing I want to talk to you about today is FACS. FACS is your entryway into the student life on campus. The FACS Family Portal allows you to see your students' grade, their schedule, and any comments teachers may have made regarding their work. The students also have a student portal, which they can view their schedule and any assignments that have been posted for the day by their teachers. If your student is joining us through e-learning, they will be looking at that FACS student portal every day to view assignments or any videos or anything that needs to be done. Students in the classroom will also be using the FACS portal to make sure that their assignments are complete and to check on their grades. We understand that many of you are excited to join us in-person classes starting next week. If at any point your family decides that you can no longer meet with us on campus and you need to transition to the e-learning platform, please go ahead and reach out to your principal and then send them an email and let them know that you would like to transition into that e-learning. When your family is ready, send them another email and we'll gladly transition you and welcome you back to our on-campus community. We are so thankful for the support of our community and our family and our staff during this season of uncertainty. Please make sure that you join us in prayer as we are lifting up this school year in thanks and praise to God. As with anything else, we do all things following our 4 core values: love God, love others, speak life, and pray powerful prayers. We're so excited to see you online or in the classroom this year. Thank you so much.